What do you notice about my pronunciation of these words? Salmon, debt, listen, honest, island. Did you notice that each word has one letter that isn't pronounced? These are called silent letters. There are hundreds in English. Today you'll learn the most common. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. Let's review the most common words with a silent B. Climb. So notice the pronunciation ends on that I don't push it out to produce that B. Climb, crumb, dumb, lamb, limb, numb, thumb, tomb, womb, bomb. Notice also that these words have an MB spelling. This is a rule. When spelling contains MB, the B is silent in pronunciation, which means it does not exist.
Climb that stairway.
Greene County singers were lamb.
Zooming through your thumb.
Ice bomb.
It's very common to have multiple words with silent letters in one sentence. Let's review these. We decided to climb the hill. So notice how that pronunciation flows together. Climb the hill. After eating a crumb of bread. It's dumb to mess around with a bomb. Wouldn't you agree? Don't worry about taking notes. I summarize all these silent letters in a free lesson PDF. You can find the link in the description. There are other words with a silent B that don't contain the spelling MB, like debt, debt. Notice that B does not exist in pronunciation. Debt, doubt, subtle, subtle. And notice that T is pronounced as a soft D in American pronunciation. Subtle, subtle.
Hex debt.
No doubt.
This revealed a subtle bias.
The debt is subtle, but it caused him to doubt his decision. Let's review words with a silent C. Seen, seen. This sounds exactly the same as see, saw, seen, seen. Scenery, scenic. So notice those are alternative word forms of the same word. Scent, science, scientist, again, an alternative form. Scissors, muscle, muscle, fascinate. So you just hear that the S sound. The rule here is SC spelling has a silent C, but in pronunciation.
Whole scene.
I'm a scientist.
Without moving a muscle.
Fascinate us.
Let's review some examples. The scientist studied the scent of the flowers. The scissors worked, but now my muscles are sore. Or simply, science is fascinating, isn't it? Two other words with a silent C are indict and indictment. These are common legal terms. Indict is a verb. It means to officially charge someone with a crime. Indictment is the noun form. It's a thing. It's an official charge accusing someone of a crime. The prosecutor indicted him, and the indictment was filed the same day. Let's review words with a silent D. Badge. Notice J. It ends on a J sound. Badge, bridge, edge, fudge, hedge, judge, ledge, pledge, ridge, knowledge. So here, the DG spelling has a silent D pronunciation. But notice, like I said, the sound combination forms a J sound.
Competitive edge to China.
Judge me for the astrology parts.
Tightroping on a ridge.
The bridge was closed because of ice on the ridge. She wore a badge and made a pledge to help. He sat on the ledge and shared his knowledge of the area. Other random words with a silent D are Wednesday, Wednesday. No D at all in pronunciation. Handsome. Handsome. No D. And of course, sandwich. Sandwich.
He did every Wednesday.
Talking about how handsome he was.
Sandwich shop or this.
On Wednesday, I shared a sandwich with a handsome stranger. Let's review words with a silent G. Sign, ein, sign. Assign, a derivative. Design, resign. Notice those all include sign. Align. Here's a different pronunciation. Rain, rain. Campaign. Notice those sound similar. Foreign, completely different pronunciation. Foreign. Benign, benign. The rule is GN spelling has a silent G pronunciation.
Which allows me to assign projects and to align and guide.
Campaign against lung cancer and
foreign oil.
There are 3 words that start with a GN spelling that are somewhat common in English. Do you know what those are? Gnaw. Notice it begins on an N. Gnaw. This means to bite or chew something repeatedly. Commonly, an animal would do this. Gnat. Gnat. This is a very small flying insect that always seems to go around your eyes and they're very annoying. Gnome. Gnome. You know what this is. You could say, how the gnat broke the gnome is gnawing at me. Notice I use an expression here. To gnaw at someone. This is a somewhat common idiom. It means that something keeps bothering or worrying you. So if this issue is gnawing at me, it means I keep thinking about it. It's bothering me. It's worrying me. Let's review words with a silent H. Remember, in English, H is pronounced. In some languages, French, Spanish, H is generally silent. But in English, H is not silent. It's simply silent in these specific words. At the beginning of words, we have common ones. Hour, honest, air, honor. Now remember that H is simply a puff of air, but notice the difference between honor, silent, honor, and with an H, which is incorrect, honor. That's incorrect. But remember, the rule is you pronounce H in English. It is simply these words that are silent.
I want you to be completely honest.
You might be the heir to the throne.
If we honor
At any hour, the hotel. Hotel. That was not on my list, so you pronounce it. The hotel is filled with honest and honorable heirs. H is also silent in some, but not all, GH combinations, like high. That's why it sounds like high, because it's silent. Light, night, right, sight, bought, brought, caught, daughter, fought.
High-powered manager.
so the right age.
Brought a tractor.
Listen to these sentences. The light was too bright, so I lost my sight temporarily. She bought a gift for her daughter. We caught the last bus after they fought over the right seat. Some additional words with a silent H. Chorus, chorus. Echo, school. Ghost, which has that GH spelling but sounds quite different, and it's at the beginning. Ghost, ghost. Rhyme.
Verse and a chorus.
I echo Kevin Kelly.
in school,
Let's review words with a silent K. Knee. You begin on that N. Knee. Kneel. Knife. Knock. not, know, knew, known, the different forms, knowledge, which we already reviewed because of the silent D, but also a silent K. Knowledge, night, knit, knack, knob, knuckle. The rule is that KN spelling has a silent K pronunciation.
You'd suddenly pull a knife.
Do not need to know each other.
Knowledge of my work.
So you would say, I know how to knit, or she hurt her knee when she tried to kneel and untie the knot, or the knight had a knack for using a knife. Let's review words with a silent L. This is common in AL spelling, but this is not a general rule. It's a pattern, like talk, talk, walk, chalk, calm, calm. So don't pronounce the L. Calm, bomb, palm, half, half, half. Hopefully you know that the modal verbs also have a silent L. Could, should, would. Other common words are folk, folk, yolk, the center of an egg, yolk, salmon, salmon, Lincoln, kin, Lincoln. So of course, the first L is pronounced, the second L is silent, Lincoln.
That's Mr. Lincoln.
I want to talk
Humans could.
black folk music.
For example, we should talk about it as we walk to the park. I stayed calm as I sang my folk song about salmon fishing. There's only half a stick of chalk left.
Talk about cities. You should know as if it's nice salmon and vegetables.
Let's review words with a silent N. This is common with MN spelling, but not a general rule, just a pattern. Autumn, So when it ends on your autumn, column, solemn, condemn, hymn, damn. For example, in autumn, the column looked beautiful. They sang a solemn hymn and refused to condemn him.
I don't call autumn
Solemn responsibility.
The Stanford hymn.
There are some very common words with a silent P. Psychology. So notice it starts on a S sound. Psychology, psychic, psychiatrist, and pneumonia. That, of course, starts on an N sound. Pneumonia. The beginning PS, PN spelling has a silent P pronunciation. Those words are the most common. Other random words with a silent P are receipt, a word that students struggle with. Receipt, seat. So I'm sitting on a seat, receipt, and cupboard, cupboard. Yes, you put your cup in a cupboard. The cup has a regular P, it's pronounced, but cupboard has a silent P. You could say the psychiatrist also studied psychology. Or the psychic sent me a receipt after my treatment for pneumonia.
Psychology professor.
Receipt.
Infectious pneumonia.
Let's review words with a silent S. Island. Another word that students find difficult because of the spelling. Island, I. Also aisle, aisle. Silent S, aisle. Debris. Notice it ends on E. Brie, debris. Core. The PS are silent. Core. Viscount, a British title. Illinois, a state. Arkansas. So the last S is silent. Saw. Arkansas, a state. We walk down the aisle on the beautiful island. The Corps arrived after the Viscount left. Illinois is next to Arkansas. Let's review silent T. This is common with ST spelling, not a rule, but a pattern. Listen, sin, listen, fasten, fasten, castle, whistle, wrestle, hustle, bustle, rustle, apostle, Christmas. There are also common French-derived words that we use in English where the T at the end is silent. For example, ballet, ballet, buffet, bouquet, debut, debut, gourmet. And other words are mortgage, mortgage, soften.
The National Ballet.
Where you're having to wrestle some.
Your mortgage debt. You could say, let's escape the hustle and bustle. Or, she made her debut at the ballet and received a bouquet. Or, please fasten your seatbelt and then we'll head to the castle for the buffet. Let's review words with a silent W. You know some of these. Right, of course, is the same as you're right. Wrong, wrong, wrist, wrap, So notice it begins on that R. Wreck, wrinkle, wrestle. The beginning WR spelling has a silent W pronunciation, so make sure you begin on that R sound. Also, WH spelling in the words who, whom, whose, whole. Notice there's no W, it begins on H. Other random words are answer, sir, answer, sword, sore, sword, and to, which you know is pronounced as the same as the preposition to.
To write my book
about who we're dealing with.
The answer.
I could ask, did you write the wrong answer down? Or who wrote the whole story? Or she's been a wreck since they wrapped up the wrestling competition. Keep practicing these silent letters, shadow my pronunciation, use the free lesson PDF, and make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And here's another lesson I know you'll love. Watch it now.